I want to thank Susie and Moxie for inviting me to come up and speak today on what I feel is probably the most important topic of our time, which is equality. So this is a little speech that I put together, and I've entitled it Ripples. So first I want to start off by saying that I'm not a member of the LGBTQ community. I'm a member of the straight majority. But I'm also a member of the human community. And it is as a member of that community that I'm here speaking to you today, with a message that needs to be heard by the silent majority. We live in a time where hope and optimism are in short supply, where it appears that the change and development that is happening around us seems to be more regressive than progressive. New laws in places like Russia and Uganda, and unfortunately many other countries throughout the world, including Canada, are setting the human rights movement back into the dark ages. Pollution, war, superstorms, economic catastrophe, the neoliberal conservative revolution in Canada, massive unemployment are leaving people absolutely devastated. But this is the time when things look most dark that we need to have examples to follow. Our children need to see progressive change and development take place through the work of their mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters who must provide concrete hope through living examples of equality in practice. But given the forces that oppose true progress and equality, it's very easy to fall prey to futility and ask, as one person, what can I possibly do to change the tide of misery, ignorance, injustice, and violence that is sweeping this world? But I believe that this is the most important question to ask. However, I think where people fail in this question is they believe that to change the massive problems of this world, there needs to be massive change. And this overwhelms their sense of optimism and replaces it with futility, so they do nothing. Fear of change, fear of repercussions, fear of rejection, and fear of failure are powerful motivators to do nothing in a society that demands conformity in order to succeed. Let us labor under no delusions. Equality is a dangerous idea, and it's even more difficult to bring to fruition. In his manifesto, To Seek a Newer World, Robert Kennedy spoke about the risks that one takes to make real change. He said, "There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success than to take the lead into the introduction of a new order of things." But he was not without hope, because he also said this: each time a person stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, they send forth a tiny ripple of hope. And this, I believe, is what it truly takes to change the world. Every hateful poster that comes down, every time a person is confronted about using the word gay in a derogatory way, every time we encourage children to be themselves, and we accept them for who they choose to be regardless of what we think they should be, every time we stop a bully, every time we offer love and support to a fellow human being who is suffering, we send out that tiny ripple. And when enough people send out those ripples, they can become a tidal wave. And that's what we need to turn this tide of misery, ignorance, hate, and discrimination that still remains in our world. But it has to start with that tiny ripple. The silent majority would do well to remember the advice of Albert Einstein, who said, "The world is too dangerous to live in, not because of the people who do evil, but because of the people who sit and let it happen." Thank you.
Okay, everybody.